Hi guys, so like I totally did not plan on doing a live video today, obviously by my hair and makeup, but I wanted to talk today about like common mistakes and how people fail. I have never done another network marketing business before Singular. I think most of you know my story. Like I kind of didn't even want to jump into the business. I kind of had to be led slowly. So I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about comparing journeys. Hi, Charlesy. Hi, everybody. So I've been reading this book. My friend Brett gave it to me, Get Over Your Damn Self. And I at first just thought it was funny, so I kind of wanted to. What it is about a Rodan and Fields distributor who then became, I would probably liken her to what I am in the company. When I read it, hey Barb, I gotta let my dog out, people. This is the kind of crap that happens to me. Okay, so when I read it, I just thought, man, she really nailed it. You know, the network marketing business is so easy in some sense. It is so simple if you think about it from my standpoint. It is find a product you love and a comp plan that rewards you and share it. Like, it is that simple. Find something you love and go share it. Contact people, talk about it, share it. That easy. Good morning. Okay, so where it gets hard and people start to fail, and I hear it all the time. Oh, I did this and it didn't work for me. Or I did Singular for a while, the business, and Singular didn't work for me. And I always want to stop people and say, Singular didn't not work for you. You didn't work for Singular. And the reason I say that is we all have the same product. We all have the same comp plan to work with. We all have the same tools, right? Corporate provides tools. I provide you tools. Like it's a level playing field. What you do from it there is your choice. So I think where people get the sense that they failed or whatever is they come in and, you know, we're saying, well, this girl makes this much money. Well, Robin Packard made this much money. And then they come in and they post a little and maybe nothing much happens. They have a meeting and no one shows up, or, well, it just didn't work for me. Well, that's not true. I've had meetings where people didn't show up. I've posted and not gotten a response. Like, every single fear that you have, I have had, or another distributor has had. And I'll tell you, I'm a really private person. I just am. I'm a guarded private person. I'm not super outgoing, but I think when people see Robin Packard ambassador, silver ambassador, they make these assumptions that she must be really outgoing, or she must be better in person, or, get these assumptions or have this ideal that I live like a rock star when, it's 9:45, I'm in my Nike pants. And I have HGTV on. I don't really watch TV, but I have the noise during the day. I have 3 kids that boss me around that I have to keep in line. I am your everyday run-of-the-mill girl. And I want all of you to be successful in Singular. So here's the common mistakes I've seen. And I'm going to go through this book. I kind of feel like a librarian right now. But so the number one thing people fail is, number one, they're not coachable. Nothing makes me more sad or more frustrated to get on a strategy call with someone who says they want it, but then when I start saying, okay, are you hosting meetings? Well, I don't have the resources to host a meeting, or I live in a small town, or like comes this list of excuses. When I don't think like that. And maybe this is where I'm a little unique. Like, I'm always thinking of how to overcome something like that. I lived in a small town. I hit Silver Ambassador 30 miles from a gas station, where I lived. I didn't have a big town or a super big pool to start with. So I get on these calls and, good morning, Mandy. And people will start making excuses when really, like, my time is so limited. When I get on a strategy call, like, I need them immediately to, like, see my heart, hear what I'm saying, open their mind. Because I am talking to the same girl that I was. So they're not coachable. I never ask anyone to do anything in this business that I wouldn't have done myself. I've hosted meetings. I've driven a long way for meetings. I put in hours that I didn't have. I found nooks and crannies in my day. I didn't quit my job till I was clear past silver executive, making great money because I was so afraid it was going to go away tomorrow. So when I ask you to do something or tell you to do something, what I'm trying to do is not be bossy. I'm trying to tell you, this is what worked for me. This did not work for me so well. And I'm trying to save you some of the heartache that I had and save you from some of the obstacles. Because the great thing about being a pioneer, like some of us have been in Singular, is like, hopefully we can like save you a lot of heartache and a lot of time. When I started, there were no welcome packets. There was no brochures. There was nothing from Singular. You didn't even get anything in the box when we started, So the number one thing is be coachable. If you get on a strategy call with your upline, please listen to what they're saying. I didn't want to do three-way calls. I thought, I have said this to Kara Cunningham. I said, there is nothing I'd rather do less than get my friends on the phone while you badger them for 15 minutes to buy this. No way. So I've been there. But anyone that's ever done a three-way call with me knows it's not like that. On a three-way call, you're learning something. You're learning, hey, that's what Robin says. I can relate to that, and that is good. I can use that. And your new prospect is learning. That new prospect is learning. This is a low-pressure situation where we're just girlfriends on the phone talking about our struggles, right? I can't do that in a Facebook message. I'm too private. I'm too closed in. I'm too busy to sit there and type out this stuff, right? But on a 10 to 15 minute phone call, I can talk about that. You will know that, hey, I have been 226 pounds. I have been that girl pulling my pants up, pulling my shirt down, ashamed. But you are not going to know that until you talk on the phone to someone. And, get someone on the phone with someone who has a story, that relates to theirs. Be coachable. Okay, another thing I didn't want to do, before and after pictures. I did not want the people that I went to high school with or college with seeing me fat because I wasn't putting fat pictures on Facebook. I didn't want them to know my struggle and my shame, right? And then I didn't want the world looking at my after picture, judging and being like, well, that bitch ain't that skinny, or she don't look that good. This is stuff in my mind that was going through my mind. I didn't want to be judged. And when you put yourself out in front of the world, you will be judged. You will. I get judged to this day. I can walk into a room and speak to 10 people, and 5 of them will love me, come away and say, man, I love that girl. She's real. She's hardcore, and then 5 will be like, yeah, she's too up in my face. She's too forward for me. And that's okay. That's okay. I think the great thing about getting older and getting more confident and being more comfortable in your own skin, not everyone has to like you. Good morning. And God, I thank God for the ones that do and the ones that do get me, but you're not going to be everyone's peach. So what I had to learn was be open about your struggle. It was hard for me. I remember one time I was speaking at a Singular event and Mark Walker was like, you got to be open with them. They know that you've lost weight, but they don't know your strong why. And he's like, if you feel comfortable telling it, I want them to know. Well, my why, was I lost the weight and I started feeling better. And that's so exciting to see girls come out of their shell and start fixing their hair again, buying clothes and, just becoming, So I get up on stage and I tell the whole world, 1,200 people, I say, wasn't open for the business, but I'm sitting there. I just found out my husband is having a 9-month affair. Going to move a girl in my house. I'm looking at these 3 precious children and thinking, I cannot support them on my own. I can't. I make great money in a lab that tells me when to be there, when to go home, that you're going to miss this of your kids. You're going to come in on a holiday. And I'm staring at these 3 kids thinking, I have to take control of my life. I can't control anyone. I can't control you. I can't control my ex-husband. I couldn't fix other people. But I could fix me. So I got busy losing weight. And I hope to God this isn't your why. I hope this isn't your struggle. But I'm looking at these 3 kids thinking, I'm in a marriage that I cannot leave because I have no money. And I was the girl sliding their debit card, hoping that it wouldn't decline. I'd slide my Discover card and think, please God, don't have let my credit limit run out today. So I have been broke. But I didn't, we want everyone to think our lives are great. We're this, whatever. We're this fake, I always call it fake book because that's what it is. We do not put the behind the scenes stuff on Facebook. We put the best of our lives. But you need to know, you have to be coachable so we can help you, so I can help you, because my life purpose isn't to make more money. It's to help people like me, whether you were overweight, whether you were broke. I want to help you do what I did. The only way I can do that is if you will listen. So there's that. I get on stage, I tell the world why. I'm staring at these 3 kids and I realize I need to get out of this situation. I don't have any money. For the $500 investment of Zingular I can make. At that time, my thought was Lacey Friend had got a $100,000 check. I looked at that $100,000 check and I'm thinking, okay, $100,000 gets me just break even, out of debt, gets rid of my credit card debt, gets me so I can breathe. So I got started. I left thinking, I need girls that I can be forward with. I need girls that won't kick and scream and make me drag them. I need girls right now that will do what I tell them to do and that trust me. Just trust me. That's it. So I went to Crystal Nichols. I already had the amazing Julie Carell. Julie was a great leader with not much guidance from me because we grew up together in it. I go to Crystal Nichols. I tell her, you need to do this. There's a huge financial opportunity here. If you don't do it, you will miss out. This will not be here forever. And Crystal's reluctant. She tells me, oh, I'm thinking about doing this spice deal. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't do the spice deal. I literally took her credit card out of her wallet and signed her up that day. Some others is Kaylin Heroes. Kaylin was pretty great in the beginning. I didn't really even approach her in the business. She was doing another supplement company. Amy Potter was skeptical. She did not want the weight loss system. She thought she could do it on her own. I just boldly said, well, if you could do it on your own, how come you haven't? And then the business was the same for her. None of my big leaders except Ursula, who's the exception, came in just wanting the business. So if you aren't talking to the people you already have about the business, you're missing out because those are your girls. Those girls already love the product. You just need to show them the benefit. And I was really sad the other day because someone told me that when they have the meetings, they weren't even talking about the business. And I want to tell you another thing about a moment where I stepped out of my comfort zone. I FaceTimed into a lot of the meetings Crystal Nichols had in the beginning. And at one of them, I decided it was all product. We didn't talk about the business. At one of them, I told Crystal, I said, it's going to be half and half. I'm going to talk about the products and I'm going to talk about the business. There were 7 people there, I believe. Crystal can correct me if I'm wrong. And not one of them signed up that night. She called me mad at me and said, you are never doing that again. You are never talking about the business again. No one signed up. Well, about 2 days later, almost all of them signed up and became distributors. And it took her a while to come around, and it was awkward for me. I'd never talked about the business. It was really awkward for Crystal. She was mad at me for a while about it. There have been times where I've done stuff I didn't want to do and been bold. If you've ever watched my Facebook posts, I have been tagged in millions of what people think I make, whatever and I very rarely, because I don't want 500 meth heads breaking in my house thinking I have that money under my bed, people. But it's awkward for me to talk about money because I don't want people to think I'm boastful or anything, But I hate it when people say, well, money can't buy you happiness. Well, neither can being broke. Just like, I don't know if some of you have saw the GoFundMe I set up, which is for John and McKenna. John is the videographer for Zingular, so I've worked with him a lot. And McKenna is his wife, and she does hair and makeup. And I mean, I am not good with hair and makeup. So McKenna's always helping me out at these deals. McKenna literally one time, I mean, anyone that was in Salt Lake City, I spilled coffee down the front of a white shirt. McKenna literally was like, I will give you my shirt. You know, that's the kind of person she is. Like, so I set up a GoFundMe. I'm sending them money. I want to make sure they got in this terrible wreck by a crazy person, run them basically off the road. And I'm sending them money to get through this time. And you can't do that when you're broke. You can't. You can't help anyone because you can't even help yourself. So if anyone ever, like, if someone tells me money can't buy happiness or whatever, like the movie Step Brothers, I'm like, I want to punch them in the face because I'm like, you can't do that broke either. You can't help anyone. You know, money makes life easier. It does. Like, I'm trying to think of, Coleman did something the other day that cost me a lot of money. I would have lost it 5 years ago, but instead, you know, I kind of laughed and was like, well, I mean, this sucks, but at least I can pay for it. Okay, so I've gotten a little off course. But I have stepped out of my comfort zone, so I'm not asking you to do anything that I haven't done. So the first, why people fail. They're not coachable. They won't listen. They don't want to do the things that we ask them to do, which honestly is kind of a standard in this industry. We know what works. We know what doesn't work, you know. But if you immediately, when your coaches are telling you stuff, you're writing off, well, I'm not going to do that. Well, then automatically I know that your success is going to be pretty limited. Number 2, they don't treat it like a business. You know, when I first started, I was working a full-time job and having to do it at night. There were nights when, to be honest, I didn't get to see my kids much. I had to quit watching TV. I had to quit the little sorority I was in. I had to give up things. Were those things bringing me happiness? No. Were they paying my bills? No. They were not helping my life in any way. I had to cut some of it loose. I did. I worked at night. I put my kids to bed. I would go back to my desk and work some more. I would get up early and work. I would work on my lunch break. I would check all my messages on breaks and try to respond. I had meetings that I didn't want to. I had meetings that I was too tired to go to. I had meetings that I was disappointed that when I got there, the person didn't really promote them and there was no one there. But Amy Potter, I'm not saying Brandy didn't promote because she did. Amy Potter came from one of those meetings. I think there was 2, maybe 3 people at that one. Amy Potter was one of them. Worth it? Yes. So the second, if you don't treat it like a business, if you bought your UTK or whatever and you think that magically you're just going to start making money because you love the products and you made one Facebook post, you're not. I can go ahead and tell you that right now. I always tell people a financial planner will tell you to diversify their income. I'm telling you as an MLM person, you need to diversify the way you do your business. It needs to be social media. It needs to be meetings. It needs to be contacting people that you know would be awesome on your team. Whether you know it or you're not, your team is an elite team. We are one of the fastest growing teams in Singular. We are the biggest team in Singular. That is a winning team to get people on. You know, I hear people all the time say, well, I do good, you know, at my job or whatever. Okay, well, you're the one that picked this business, so why are you here and what do you want? You know, it helps me to know I just want to make $500 extra a month, or I want to be the #1 person in Singular. I want to make $1 million. I want to do, like, whatever your goal is, we'll help you get there. Just tell your upline, hey, I'm good to be a manager and that's all I ever want out of this. But don't do your upline a disservice by acting like you want it, but then checking out all the time. And then it puts us in a bad position of where we're like, do I check in with them? They don't seem like they're working the business. I don't want to bother them. You know, do you want our help? Do you not? Ask. Be coachable. Treat it like a business. Find the time. Get in there. Do the work. If you don't, you're going to get paid like a hobby. This business requires you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Ask Kara, there's a lot of stuff I didn't want to do. I didn't have a problem with meetings for some reason. I had a problem with posting my before and after on Facebook because I didn't want to be judged by the world. I had a problem with 3-way calls because I felt like it was an awkward, high-pressure situation. I got to close my door. So I have done stuff that I didn't want to do. I have shared stories of why that I did not want to do, that I would have rather kept quiet. So the reason number 3, they are not willing to get uncomfortable. So I think if you know this right off the bat, like, you know, I wish I knew all of you, and that's the probably really hard thing I struggle with now. In the beginning, you know, it was just me and this small group of girls, so they knew me really well, so I felt like there was some trust there. You know, I have some of you on this page that are probably 10, 15 levels down from me. You don't know me from Adam. I'm just this girl that gets on and does these crazy live videos, and you don't even know what I'm talking about. You know, but I wish you knew me, like actually knew the person Robin Packard, not this persona, and knew that, like, I know I've been where you've stood. I know what you've done. You have, it's like this all the time, people. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. That means, hi, doing stuff that you don't want to do, talking when you don't want to talk, going to meetings. Like, it is too easy to sit behind the computer on Facebook and just type out this post and say, come to me. That is just fishing. That is not network marketing. That is fishing. And while I feel like you do need to constantly fill that funnel on Facebook and be getting new people, like, you, by doing that, you are not truly working a business. You are posting on Facebook, and that is it. Okay, so reason number 4, they are not hungry enough. So what's interesting about this book is she was an attorney, and she didn't really like that. So she went and she then became a public relations, like a marketing person, and she wasn't that fulfilled, but successful, married to a doctor. You would think someone like that would be just kicked back and, you know, living the life. But she knew that wasn't like her calling. And somebody approached her with a Rodan and Fields opportunity, and she jumped on it. I am not promoting Rodan and Fields, people. And went on to be uber successful with this. But this whole book is about, like, I'm not in your way with Zingular. Joe Blow's not in your way with Zingular. Like, Zingular is not in your way. You are in your way. You are the reason that you're not being successful. So you need to just figure out what it is and course correct. I mean, we've all done it. You're not infallible. Like, I mean, I've had weekends where I ate nothing but popcorn and Cheerios, but I don't stay there. Monday, I get back on the wagon and course correct. So for me, like, I don't understand the mentality of, when I made $10,000 a month, I was like, well, wouldn't it be great to make $20,000 a month? And when I made $20,000 a month, I was like, wouldn't it be great to make $40,000 a month? I never had this magic number of, I will stop here. Like, my mentality is, I will stop when I'm done. And I will stop when I'm done, and that's when I feel like I've helped everyone I can help, and I don't have any more to give, right? Like, I will stop when I know that my 3 kids can go to college. I know my 3 kids can start off in life better than I did. That people are taken care of. Like, I'm a single mom. I have 3 children. If a house of cards falls, it's on me. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have anyone to come save me. So that makes me work. And I work just as hard today. And, you know, I hear people talk about, like, taking a break or doing this. Like, I've never really taken a big break. I go on vacation and I still check my phone. I do relax with my kids, but I still work. So I'm sure I could have maybe just slid through life a couple years ago, but I don't feel like that sends a very good message to all the people underneath me that are working hard. You know, I don't think that's fair to them for me to get on here and coach and be like, well, you guys have meetings. You guys be contacting, you do 3-way calls, but I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to take it easy, you know. That's not how it works. So I hope everyone reads this book because it's great, but I was afraid some of you, you know, it takes a while to get them. It's a quick read, but I wanted you to get the information fast, and it's just full of it. It talks about, you know, the 3 different buckets of people that, you know, one is they're not interested. One is they're going to be product users. They love the product. And then that second one is they're going to be actual business builders. So what I want you to do now and the only reason I really want you to do this is because I did not want to go to the first meeting in Grapevine, Texas. Kara basically just convinced me it would be fun. We would have this blast, go. And I wanted to hang out with, the book's name is Get Over Your Damn Self. It's funny. I find her very real. I like the way she seems a lot like me. I really spoke to me. It isn't like as serious as like GoPro or some of them. I mean, I find her witty. I just liked it. She cussed a little. I thought it was funny. So get your people to go to events. I couldn't really afford to go to my first one. Kara and I split a room with, I don't even know, too many people. I mean, I'm going again and splitting a room with 4 people because I want my friends to go. Get your people there, because I think if you don't get your people to the events, they have no sense of the culture of Singular, which is very inclusive. They have no sense of these girls are just like me. That Lacey friend, she's made a couple million. She's just like me. She's a mom. Or, hey, this girl's a ranch wife. Or, hey, there's Robin Packard. She never was sold anything in her life and then did well at Singular. Or, but the biggest thing I want you to do is when you go, you can see like this financial opportunity that you could never even fathom. And that's what I'm sitting there in the front row of my very first event ever. I'm a director or silver director, so 20 to 30,000 points, not taking Singular very serious, not invested, just a good weight loss story is what I was. But when I saw the potential and finally kind of understood the comp plan and the amount of money that could be made, I thought, there's a huge opportunity here that I've just been wasting. I've been totally wasting. And I told Kara then, I'm like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go home and figure this out. And then, so another thing in here, it talks about like, and I highlighted it last night and circled it. Like, some people want to be so armored with knowledge, they never start. You know what? I get on the phone today and I will have a call where like someone will stump me with something. I don't have all the answers. I muddled my way through it. I learned on the fly. When I first started getting checks, I had to call Karen and be like, I'm getting checks and I have no idea why. Explain. Like, they were pink checks showing up in the mail. I had no understanding of the comp plan. But what I did understand was if I sign as many people as I can, level 1 to me, and then help those girls be successful, we will all be successful. And that's all you really need to know. So I think the great thing about Singular is we have this, huge variety of people. I have a biology degree, so the science behind all of it is really easy for me. So if you got a science-minded person, talk to me. Or if you have somebody that would relate better to Kara Cunningham or Crystal Nichols or Ursula or Amy, find that person and get them on the phone with them. We just have to get like relationships built with these people, find out what is their struggle, how can we help them, listen to what people have to say. And then I will get that person that just wants so much literature. Well, I just need more stuff to read. Well, honestly, if a lot of the people, I'm totally making up the statistics, which I think a lot of statistics are made up. Like, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 people that want just so much knowledge, want to learn everything before they start, never go ahead and start. I think because they get overwhelmed with how much there is to learn. And really, we'll just be honest, there's the whole diet plans to learn. There's the actual product knowledge to learn. There's the comp plan to learn. You have 3 different things happening here. No one expects you to know it all at once. No one expects you to know it in 5 years. What we do expect is you just get started. All you need to do is keep it simple. Share your love of the products. What has it done for you? What have you seen it do for other people? What has the business done for you? What have you seen it do for other people? So I would love for you to read this book. If you're not going to, first, that means you're not very coachable. Second, I kind of went through it with you. I want you to just start sharing the products. Start going to a girl and saying, hey, you know what? I've always admired you. I've always thought you were a badass. I've always thought you were a hard worker. I've always thought you were driven. You're the kind of girl that I want on my team, and my team is the best team, and I want you on it. Go to those people, be bold, and be like, you're doing this with me. If they're your best friend, and you know what? Do not compare. If you have been a platinum director for 2 years and someone hit executive in 5 months, who cares? I was a director for probably a year and just sat there because I wasn't going to do anything different. I didn't really care. I couldn't see the money potential. But the minute I decided, well, yeah, I'm done with this, I went to executive in 4 months and then silver, like, I don't even know. But what's important is, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's where you're going to go. You are not the other person. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. What does matter is, where do you want to go, and will you do the things that I'm asking you to do to get there? None of us are suit and tie kind of people. So we are just all kind of in this together, linked arms, trying to figure it out. There's still stuff I don't know. There's still stuff I do that was a big fat flop. I mean, we try stuff all the time on Facebook that we're like, ugh, that did not work so good, or yeah, this worked really well. But one thing is, I guess, I'm not afraid to look stupid. I don't care what people think, and I'm just going to keep walking in like my path, and doing what I'm going to do. And you know, people are going to love or hate me, and it took me 40 years, yes, 40, to figure out that that's okay. That's okay if they don't like me. I'm still going to be okay. And you're going to be okay too. So what I want you to do, hopefully you watch this whole video, in the comments, I want you to write, where have I not been coachable? What have I not been doing? This is the missing link, and we're going to start working on it. I'm going to try to do like a live meeting soon, where we just stream the whole meeting where I'm going to talk. If I can find it, I'll show you the first ever before and after picture that I did not want to use, and I told you why I didn't want to use it. The 3-way calls, that just took actually getting on the phone with people and seeing, oh, this is not this is not a pressure situation. We're not going to just sit here and badger this person until they sign up. Like, I want you to list, because every single one of us has been uncoachable at times and won't do something, and I want to know what that stuff is. If you have, you know, a Kindle or whatever, download this, because it's real. Like, this girl did the same thing I did. She's going to tell you. She's going to tell you how to talk to people. If you have people, you know, struggling, let's talk to them and do this. So that was my impromptu Tuesday morning video. Thanks, guys, and we will be talking soon.